Well, the shoe is on the other foot. Robson Conceicao has been robbed by the judges against Oshaki Foster in their highly anticipated rematch. The two fought this weekend in a much better fight than the first fight, I will add, but the real big question coming into this fight was Robson Conceicao Robson? Like Robson Conceicao? Yeah, I know. Let me get my dad jokes out the way, guys. Come on. This was a much better fight than the first one, but the question is, like, there's a lot of rhetoric out there talking about, oh, Conceicao was robbed. Robson Conceicao was robbed of this win. He was robbed of his title, and it's not fair. All right, guys, before we get into this episode, take a second to consider, hey, you should go sign up to the Substack. It's a way to support the channel, and it helps me make better videos. Go do it now. Link is in the description. Guys, come on. I've been preaching this for a long time. We've got to stop calling close fights robberies. We've got to stop it. It's time to stop. This was a close fight. It was a good fight. Conceicao came out and fought very well, but let's be honest. He got tired as the fight went on, and a lot of the better shots were landed by Oshaki Foster as the fight went on. Now, is this a fight of the elite, of the best that junior featherweight or whatever weight they are have to offer? I don't think so. And like, you go over, let's take a look at the web, because I like going over to my web. Let's go look at the champions in this weight class. So let's see. Haney, Tang. Here we go. Rikishi, Karase, Oshaki Foster, Valdez, Emmanuel Navarrete. Like, look at these guys. Look at them. Do you really think Oshaki Foster is going to be able to handle the pressure that Emmanuel Navarrete brings to the table? He was paralyzed by Robson Conceicao. This fight was close. It was very close. And what I really do think secured the win for Conceicao for Oshaki Foster at the end of this fight is, the hurt. He hurt Conceicao. The hurt. Listen to me. I can't talk today, right? No, he did. He rocked Conceicao. What was it, the 10th round or something like that? He had Conceicao backing up. This wasn't a robbery. It was a close fight. And we have to stop calling all fights that are close robberies. And I get the decision from the first Robson Conceicao versus Oshaki Foster fight, where a lot of people, myself included, thought Oshaki Foster won that. This was a much better showing from Robson Conceicao. That we can say for sure. But to call this fight a robbery is just a slap in the face, because it wasn't. It wasn't a robbery at all. Conceicao showed some cool things. We're going to be talking about some cool things today, about what he's done. But I can't call it a robbery. What was different from Foster this fight? So what was wrong with Oshaki Foster in the first fight? Well, he didn't punch. And the object of boxing is to hit. All right, so they'll tell you this all the time. You're supposed to be hit and not get hit. That's not how the rules work, homie. And there's a reason they put hit ahead of not get hit. It's not get hit and hit. No, you want to be hitting people. Oshaki Foster didn't do that. He stayed on the back foot the entire time against Robson Conceicao in the first fight. Now, this rematch rolls around, and they come to, hey, I got to get my belt back, because, Oshaki Foster was actually on the front foot for a fair amount of this fight. For a fighter like him, you got to think like, wow, that was a big shift in what we've seen from Oshaki Foster in the past. I was actually very happy with what we saw from Oshaki Foster. He was offensive. He did a lot of pivoting. He was okay to work in the pocket. That pull counter was fantastic. He landed this several times in the fight. So, Oshaki Foster has the Floyd Mayweather complex, where he's behind the lead shoulder, he's behind the lead shoulder, whatever, however you do the shoulder. I can't shoulder roll, guys. He's behind the lead shoulder, putting a big shoulder blade between you. This is getting punched, not this, or this, I should say. That's getting punched instead of, the chin. So what this does though is when you roll like this, you see the right hand, like you twisting your body with it, and it naturally brings in that right straight. That's what O'Shaquie Foster brought to the table, and he hurt Conceicao consistently with it. I won't say he rocked him consistently with it, no. But he did manage to hurt O'Shaquie Foster. O'Shaquie Foster managed to hurt Robson Conceicao consistently through this fight. So that I was happy with. Now, Conceicao, he brought a whole bunch of new stuff. He was in his zone. He was drunken monkey, kind of dodging punches and stuff. It was cool. He had a really good lead left uppercut to the body. And it really did hurt O'Shaquie Foster. Like, it was really wearing on him. And O'Shaquie started coming over the top of that left hook with his right hook, which made Robson Conceicao abandon it. That was a great read by O'Shaquie Foster, making him abandon the lead uppercut. And then later in the fight, he did manage to come back and start throwing it again, but too little, too late. So I liked what I saw from O'Shaquie Foster. I thought, he showed that a great knowledge of, hey, I've got to do something different, but he still kind of stayed true to himself with that defensiveness that he has. I don't like the defensive style, I'll be honest. I think it's unique and I think it's cool, but I don't think it's the kind of style that's going to keep him to the top. So we're going to be talking about what his future looks like in a moment here. So don't worry about that. We'll get into that in a second. But are we going to run it back? I mean, they're 1-1 now, right? They're 1-1 in a very close fight. Robson Conceicao showed that he is game and he can run with O'Shaquie Foster, at least. He went to a draw with Emmanuel Navarrete. He made Shakur fight boring. Oh, wait, everybody makes Shakur fight boring. Never mind about that one. But, let's go over to the web for a second here. Let's go look at Conceicao. We're going to go through O'Shaquie's page. Robson Conceicao. So you look like he's 19-3-1, has 400 amateur bouts. So he's really experienced, but he lost to O'Shaquie Foster. Somebody has a win over, a draw with Emmanuel Navarrete, and then you lose to Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. He doesn't lose to bad fighters. He's a fairly good journeyman, and I say that with all due respect. He's a very good journeyman. And O'Shaquie Foster knows more than anybody now that Robson Conceicao is game. And that's going to be a tough fight for him. That's going to be a very tough fight if they run it back again. I feel like, so they always say rematch goes to the boxer. Rematch goes to the boxer. And it's very clear that it's O'Shaquie Foster that's the boxer here. And you got Robson Conceicao, who's the brawler, just the crazy maniac in the ring. I lean O'Shaquie Foster on the rematch. Only because he managed to do enough this fight, and those later rounds, he was very, very aggressive going after Robson Conceicao. But I don't think O'Shaquie Foster takes the rematch. I don't think Foster wants to rematch and spend another 5 months fighting Robson Conceicao. You've got Navarrete. You've got Oscar Valdez. They are ready for a shot at this O'Shaquie Foster. And I think they can give him a hard time. I really do. So I don't think O'Shaquie Foster goes out there and takes this rematch. I don't know the contract issues with it. I don't know if they had a rematch clause in there or not. But I just can't see O'Shaquie Foster going out there and taking a rematch with this guy when he can be like, all right, the first one was a fluke. Everybody knows it was bad. Even though Conceicao looked better in the rematch, we're going to keep going on because I got the win, and that's good enough for me. But, man, he's got some boogeymen waiting for him. What's the future for O'Shaquie Foster? What does he have for him in store coming up? Because he has some good fights out there, and I've mentioned 2 of them already. I've mentioned all of them already. When I look at a guy like O'Shaquie Foster, I'm like, that's a puzzle. How do you defeat this puzzle? How do you defeat a defensive guru that's not Floyd Mayweather? Now, let's be real. He's not Floyd Mayweather. He's not impeccable. Floyd Mayweather was impeccable. Insanely hard to hit. odds and ends of the shoulder roll, he was fantastic with. He knew how to get in there and make people miss. He used all aspects of it. O'Shaquie Foster doesn't. He uses the shoulder. He doesn't quite use the cross guard check as much. He doesn't parry as much. Very good boxer, but not the great boxer, right? So does he move up a weight class? I doubt. He has stuff to do at this weight. You know, so there's Emmanuel Navarrete and Oscar Valdez. And if I'm O'Shaquie Foster, I'm fighting Oscar Valdez because I want nothing to do with Emmanuel Navarrete at this point in my career. I mean, Valdez is a volume fighter. And that's going to show us that, is he ready for an Emmanuel Navarrete? Now, granted, you know, Navarrete isn't undefeated anymore. Who did he lose to? I can't quite remember. But he's not undefeated. He's not as big of a name as he was when he was chasing down Shakur Stevenson. Oh, Dennis Barancek beat him. Oh, I forgot about Dennis Barancek. That was at 135, though, so he has to come back down. But, man, like, Navarrete brings this pace. And where Robson Conceicao had that success, you can bet with that beautiful left hook of his that Emmanuel Navarrete is going to hurt O'Shaquie Foster. Especially considering O'Shaquie Foster is an orthodox fighter using the shoulder roll. That left hook's going to be his money. He's going to need to cross guard check that. He's going to need to be able to get out the way, dip out the way, all of it. And if he can do that, he might be able to beat Emmanuel Navarrete. He probably beats Oscar Valdez. Even though Valdez has a good shot of beating him, I'd say just as good as a chance as Robson Conceicao had. So, when we're talking about the future for O'Shaquie Foster, is he going to go up to 135 and fight those boogeymen? You know, the Gervonta Davis southpaws that would plague him? Lomachenko, Shakur, maybe? I think him and Shakur are cool. So, no, not him. He's not going to 135. He's not going to fight Lomachenko. William Zepeda? No. Barancek? No. Keyshawn Davis? He can go up there and fight, but what does that do? Keyshawn's not a proven name. He's just a future name, right? So I think that the future he's going to take some tune-up fights. It does lie in Oscar Valdez and Emmanuel Navarrete. Now, does Oscar have a fight coming up? Let's see. Wait, let me look him up real quick. Oscar Valdez. I'm on the wrong one. Let me go over to the web real quick for you guys. I'm on this 0-1 Oscar Valdez. Let's go to the actual Oscar Valdez right here, right? Who does he just beat Liam Wilson. When was that? I think he has a fight booked. I don't know. But man, that would be such a fun fight. Him and Oscar Valdez. O'Shaquie Foster and Oscar Valdez, that is. That would be a blast to watch. Now, the first fight between O'Shaquie Foster and Robson Conceicao was on the undercard of Shakur Stevenson and Artem Hartunian. And if O'Shaquie Foster wants to know how to be a defensive boxer, he can go watch Shakur Stevenson fight. Now, in this fight, in this film study with Artem Hartunian, we talk about how Shakur Stevenson's defense is impeccable. What O'Shaquie Foster wants to be. How does he use the cross guard check? How to use his distance? How does he use shoulder bumps? All of that is in here. And O'Shaquie Foster, I know you're watching. Go check this video out.